take your thoughts captive, right?
Yeah.
So at this moment, I just want to ask Weezy. We touched the topic on music, right?
Thank you.
What do you think about the influence in
Just hold it.
music, like secular music, towards even just the youth, because they absorb more like a sponge, you know?
So yeah, secular music, in my opinion, is very demonic. In terms of speaking death in the music, speaking negativity, a lot of pride, a lot of materialism. You know, a lot of just not really glorifying God, but glorifying yourself and what you can do better for yourself.
Hmm.
You know, that's good. Take care of yourself, but if you don't put God, you know, in front of what you're doing, like your music, it's gonna take a demonic toll. I'm sorry, but not sorry, because the rappers nowadays or music nowadays, they speak a lot of death, a lot of pride, a lot of I can do it. I don't need anybody else but myself, and if I do have somebody else, then thank God. But at the same time, they're not really glorifying God. They're just it's it, secular music sometimes, like in hip hop, they'll put God first, but um, they to them it's like an aesthetic. It's not really real. It's not really a relationship with them. You
Hmm.
know, they'll say God did it, but did God really do it, or did the devil influence you to think that? Yeah, did the devil influence you to
Right.
think that God really did it? But there are real good music out there that you know, talks about goodness and life and all that. You know, that's all good. You know, praise them, but
Right.
then there's more of the death, there's more of the pride, there's more of materialism, and it takes a big influence on the younger audience, because they look up to these people because they're good, they're rich. They
Hmm.
said, you know, I took it upon myself to do what I want to do, and you know, the devil is gonna, you know, bless them for that, and it's not really a blessing. The devil's gonna give it to them, but it's not gonna last long. The you know, evil is gonna come. You know, it's gonna. What is that Bible verse when the dark comes to light? You know what I mean?
Oh, which one was that
A
one?
dark, the dark will come to light. You see a lot of that in the
Everything done in the dark
yeah.
will come to light. Not exactly sure what verse it is.
And it's true. You see it nowadays with a lot of artists. You know, there's a
Luke
lot of
Luke 18. No, I mean Luke 8:17.
Luke eight
For there is
seventeen.
nothing hidden that will not be disclosed.
Hmm.
But yeah, I mean, I do believe, you know, if you're walking with Christ, everything that you're worried about on a person will always be exposed, because God got you. You know, that's your
Yeah.
Father. You know,
Yeah.
He will expose it.
Yeah.
And I was gonna touch on that. You know that like you know, a rapper could speak about positivity, right?
Hmm.
You know, like, oh, like, you know, I don't know, example, like, go to school, learn, and do this and do that. You know, but at the end of the day, how do they feel when they're on that stage and they got thousands and thousands of
Exactly.
people cheering for him or cheering for his music? How is he taking it? You know,
Right.
because in the God Biz project, we'd like to we know that, you know, God is doing all these things. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And that, you know, even if we get a crowd of people that is cheering, you know what I mean, we like to give, you know, glory to God, because
Yeah.
we don't want to do it of our own, because that way we start focusing on, okay, what can we get, you know what I mean, how much money can we get if we go to this show,
Exactly.
uh you know, what benefits can we get out of it, you know what I mean? It's like,
Hmm.
no, it's like, what benefits can God get out of it, you know what I mean?
And at a certain point, it feels like they're kind of taking advantage of that. You know what I'm saying? They're
Oh yeah.
taking advantage of the people that need these, like they're calling out for help, but they don't want to go to God. They want to go to the world. So they're calling out for help, and then you see somebody doing good, and you know, those people, they'll kind of take advantage of that. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? And use that, you know, to you know, pursue their own lives and make their own lives better. But at the end of the day, that person still feels that way. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? At the end of the day, that feeling that they get when they listen to that music, or that positivity, that goes away. But when you have God and you put God in your music, that peace, that stays there.
Mhm.
There's no going away. You know what I'm saying?
It's like when I was talking about meditation, right? I would meditate back in the day. I would use like mushrooms and
Mhm.
acid and all that to momentarily make me feel better. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? But when I went back home and it was just me,
That's yours.
um, I I would still get back to those feelings. You know what I mean? I'd get back to that darkness, even though like momentarily I was feeling so happy at this time. But I'm at home now. You know what's going on there? You know what are you doing to make yourself feel better? You know, are you digging yourself a bigger hole? You know, do you have a shovel at home? You know, which is here. You know, and you're just like building that hole up so you can just get in there. You know, but don't get me wrong. You know, no matter how deep your hole is, and no matter how dark your hole is, you give it to God, and He will always receive you. And just because He's a loving Father, you know, we are underserving of His love. You know, we don't deserve the joy that we get, the peace that we get from Him, but He's such a loving Father. You know. Also, I'm not sure if you got something else on the music. I got. You want to close that out?
For the music wise, I do got some couple projects coming out, you know, to glorify God. And uh, a shout out to Minutes with God. They're helping us, they're helping me, you know, spread the word. And we're just really taking it serious, you know. Also got, you know, an announcement that yesterday I prayed for one of my brothers. His name is 1900 Dirty Mouth. And he was struggling. He talked to me a lot about God, but he was still doing, you know, his music, you know, secular music. And yesterday we found out he got locked up. And yesterday, me and my brother that were from the same hood, we prayed for him. And you know, we prayed that God met him where he was at. And then this morning, next to you know, I get a text that, you know, he wants to give his life to God. He wants to change everything. And
Praise God.
yeah, we fasted for him. We prayed for him hard. And you know, I asked God, you know, if I'm doing the right thing, give me something. You know what I'm saying? And God will answer. So this morning I got that text and I called him, and you know, he's on bail right now, but please keep him in your prayers because he's going to give his life to God, and he's going to change his music to Christian music to glorify God. I promise you. So, yeah, man, that's what I got.
Yes, sir.
Vamos pa' la cima, vamos para arriba, vamos pa' la cima, vamos para arriba, vamos pa' la cima, vamos para arriba.